Hello, my name is Casey Kirkendall, and this will be the discussing race portion of my final portfolio for Teach 330 Multicultural Education. So for my portfolio, I wanted to first start talking about how kind of I identified myself before we started this instruction in this course. And really, I only tried to think about myself as an American male. I've kind of was raised in a small town in Iowa, and we were basically taught to, treat everybody the way you want to be treated, treat everybody fairly, and actually to be colorblind, to not look at race, and to just automatically treat everybody the same, regardless of their race. So there wasn't a lot of diversity, so we really didn't have anybody to challenge that fact, or anybody to tell us differently. We didn't have a lot of multicultural education in the town itself. So I would say that we didn't, at the time, I never felt arrogant or judgmental. I just think a lot of people probably think we come off that way, but really we just have not been exposed to it. And this is kind of like what they talk about in the article we read in class, White Americans in a Multicultural Society, is some of us choose to be unaware, and maybe that's just because we don't know. We haven't had the proper education. We haven't been around different types of people to realize, how stuck up we are according to some people, and that we actually do need to broaden our horizons and celebrate different cultures. And so after I've taken this class, I begin to see myself for who I really am and for who my ancestors were. I consider myself a German and American Indian male. My mom is 100% German, so I got a lot of heritage come from there, and I also have a lot of Indian in me from my dad's side. And so those are two completely different ends of the spectrum historically, obviously, and so I think it's really important to remember to celebrate culture. Kind of like just talking about my personal background, and in the movie we watched in class, Where the Spirit Lives, the Native Americans and my ancestors had to go through a lot of oppression and had to go through a lot of really difficult times to kind of gain equality. And I still think to this day they have a lot of way to go to be a completely equal society. But I think that's important to remember where I came from, just to celebrate that. And another thing I learned in this class is that there are so many different forms of oppression. Obviously, I knew about growing up in high school through American history and whatnot about the civil rights movement, and the prejudice that the blacks and other Asians and everyone else were subject to coming to America. And through this class has taught me that there was so much more than that. I mean, we have students with disabilities who are being discriminated against, and we have people who are living as gays or LGBTQ societies that really don't have any resources and are still judged against to this day for who they actually are. And I think as an educator, a future educator, it's going to be really important for me to learn how to deal with these issues and to make these students feel wanted. And so really that's going to be one of my goals from here on out, is to better educate myself, because I feel like I've really maybe not fallen behind, but I don't have a jump on the multicultural education to maybe where I should at this point, and this class has definitely propelled me in the right direction. So as an educator going forward, I need to look at myself and go, okay, if I do move back to a small town, similar to the one I grew up in, even the one I grew up in, it's going to be important for me to celebrate diversity and promote diversity, and also just kind of get these kids that I'm going to be teaching, get their feet wet in culture, get them exposed to different things around the world. Don't let them believe that what they're growing up with in small town Iowa in the middle of all these cornfields is the only thing that's going on in this crazy world, because really there's so much to celebrate, so much to enjoy, that I think it's really great that they will need to experience when they were younger, because I didn't have that chance. So as a teacher, definitely going to be one of my biggest emphasis in my lessons, especially at an early age.